Maybe Robert Paine and myself, maybe we're both just curious and daring people willing to do the unexpected. My name is Colin Lamusta, and I am an entertainer. So I portray a very well-known founding father, maybe not so much, a gentleman by the name of Robert Treat Paine. For me, I can't work separately of who I am. It very much has to be part of my central identity, which is my curiosity and my interest in people. So in portraying someone who's very real, there's definitely a lot of overlap in thinking of where he stepped as I step in my everyday, if we walk the same paths. It always weighs on my mind a bit, but with the tours, there's the benefit of a costume and a period beforehand that involves, the putting on of the costume and just sort of selling tickets for the tour. And that aids me in my dropping into portraying someone from a bygone era. The ending of the tour always wrapping up around the same place. That too can give me that sense of I was in it and now I'm out of it. The frame of mind of Robert Paine is one of reflection and regalia, where he is sharing the stories that helped build the city he knows. In my daily life, I am a participant of that city. People now are not as in touch with the creation of our world. We are inhabitants of it. And I like to think that Robert Paine was much more helping to fashion the city and the nation that was going to be born. And I don't have that burden. That can create that point of separation where our duties in life feel very different, but I do have a responsibility to honor the duties he felt. There are definitely sort of different ways that, a very complex person can find its way into a person portraying him. There's a tavern along the trail. In there, not so long ago, I was chatting with someone who was a lawyer. I found it so fascinating that, here I was striking up a conversation talking about my own interests from when I was younger to being a lawyer. It dawns on me that of all the characters I could have chosen to portray, I picked this late-in-life lawyer who decided to shell out that formal lawyering career for building a nation, a much more dangerous and risky gamble of a lifetime. I think it sort of had that feeling of sameness for me, but I find that that overlap was very uncanny. Portraying someone who is long dead definitely brings about, the question of mortality. A significant portion of my tour is spent walking through the headstones of people that Robert Paine would have known in his lifetime and his tombstone himself. And that definitely has me reflecting a lot on, what is a life that matters? What is our purpose? And in the same way, do we concern ourselves with where we're going to be or what we're going to be after that fact? How do we balance that living in the present with the unmarked consequences of what we will become after we die? He is not George Washington. He is not Paul Revere. He is not John Hancock, Sam Adams. He's not the names we were all brainwashed with in our, formative years of education. To be able to bring life to a figure that helped form our nation but is often forgotten about, it's a privilege that I definitely don't take for granted. The opportunity to be seen by a larger audience is much more significant than it was in his day. I don't know if Robert Paine on a daily basis saw as many people as I do in leading tours around of hundreds of people a day and things like that, but in the same way, it just creates perspective that we forge a life of significance for ourselves, and if our mission involves other people and that's part of what makes our life significant, it can be on any scale. Whether Robert Paine was doing it in his estate from Waltham during the pre-Revolutionary War years, that gave him a life that hopefully was meaningful to him. I, in the same way, can do what I'm passionate about, and that will be enough for me. I guess him not being as well celebrated and being a figure of mixed interest, I guess that makes me feel okay, but just reminds me that we don't get to choose what moments we're remembered for. We just get to live them here and now.